Hi, everybody. It's TIMBP Live. We're back here for another Thursday evening, but look at this. This feels so right. This feels so good and comfortable, and I don't feel like I'm having to cram my face onto the screen. I can actually just look right down the barrel of the camera and say, look. I can say thank you so much for being here, because that's what's important. If you're watching on the replay, thank you for doing that. If you're here live, guys, it's great to see everybody, as it always is. Darren's watching from his assembly line at work. Donnie is going to be in the chat, but he's going to be eating. I said he had some fried chicken going on, which doesn't sound terrible. Scott Pigsley's here. What's going on? Tony Bag of Donuts. He says, hello, Professor Perry Poor. What's up with you, Tony? I hope you guys have had a good week. I've had a busy week. Starting to do some. It's crazy. I'm doing some consultation work for a local company. They're not quite distilling yet, but eventually they will. But it's wild, the fact that I'm even doing it at all. Scott says, love the new set. Scott, thank you, buddy. I am digging the heck out of this, and it just makes me I feel more put together, I guess, here than I did back in the club chairs. Not cool, I guess, but the good thing is the club chairs are still here. They're still very much a part of the environment, but I just needed something a little bit more that was built for doing this, I guess. And this was just the best way to go. So I'm also going to tilt my screen down a little bit so that it's not blocking anything. But looks like more room for activities. It absolutely does offer more room for activities. And also, we cleaned out a significant portion of stuff that was out here in the garage/studio, which we desperately needed to do. Lucy, I say Lucy did a significant amount of that work, as in most of that work. But it was because we knew that there was going to be this new area set up. It's like a dining room table and chairs, but it's still good. It's still helpful. And I sat here last night and recorded an interview for the podcast. It's going to come out next week with our new friend who is super, super awesome. He's got an album coming out tonight, actually, Drew Crawley. He's out of Louisville, originally from Oklahoma. Really, really cool guy. Really enjoyed getting to talk to him. And I think you guys are going to enjoy that episode next week. If you haven't listened to this week's episode yet, we sent Swan off into the sunset, and it was grand. We had a really good time with Swan, especially because we got to drink some hazmat bourbon, which we don't normally do on the podcast. Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans says, cheers, everyone. Cheers to you guys. Thank you all as well for being a new Patreon supporter, which is something you can do if you head to patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast for as little as $1 a month. And Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans is actually at the $5 tier, which means that they get all the bonus content. So go and check that out if you have not done so yet. But I am really excited to get into tonight's stream. Before we do so, I want to remind people of how to support the show with our method of super chats, which is called Snuffy Chats, in support of Mr. Snuffleupagus, who is still on the set. Whoop, there he is. He's right back there. He's amidst the Kentucky Owl, but now that there's a little bit more room to show him off, we will do so in the near future. Paul Mott says, Swan is not migrating north. Sad, but also good for him. It is sad indeed, but I am, I appreciate everything that he's done for the show. He's not going away forever, of course, but it was just time for him to kind of move on and do what he needed to do, which was move out of state. That's crazy. Bourbon Bites. What's up, Clifton? Cheers, Perry and Snuffy. Clifton, I am excited for your stream tonight, my friend. Looking forward to it. So I will be tuning into that at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Very excited for that. And I am super pumped to get into what I am doing tonight, which is a little bit different, but it's really cool, and I'm excited to share these little results. I just realized I left the I haven't stood up on a stream in a long time, and I've got to get the not pipette, the graduated cylinder too. So I'll do that in just a minute. But I meant to say too, if you do want to support the show through our snuffy chats or our super chats, oh, Heather got a promotion. Pat, that's awesome. Congratulations, Heather. That is so cool. Cheers to the Starkies. That is fantastic. Way to go, Heather. Congratulations. That's so cool. But there are a bunch of different ways that you can support the show. One is through the Stream Elements link, which basically just goes directly to the show. Supports me, supports everything. There's also PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, whatever you want to do. I'll read it out here on the stream, of course, as most people do. But yeah, let me go grab this graduated cylinder real quick because I want to be accurate with my measurements, or as accurate as possible. Now I'm behind the bar. Yep. Oh, sorry about that. I knew I was going to forget something. Whoop. And almost fell over. Great start to things. But so let me explain kind of what's going to happen tonight. So as I said in the description of the video, a few months ago, I was sent a blending experiment, I guess, that the Barrell bourbon does for people, that Joe Beatrice does for people and for events and everything. And the control bourbon is basically what, if you can kind of see that, is what I'm going to be aiming for. So I have 3 different samples, A, B, and C, naturally. And I am going to be attempting to recreate the control blend or potentially improve it, depending on what I get out of this. But I'm very excited to dive into this with y'all. I haven't done something like this in a while, just in terms of like making sure that I have my palate tested and well adjusted. So I'm doing a couple things here tonight as well. I'm going to make sure that I have a good amount in the glass. And I don't know the proof on this. I don't know what the blending ratio is, I suppose, like everything that goes into making this what it actually is. Do I get to know what these samples are? Is it totally blind? It is completely blind. I've got no idea what any of these samples are. I have tried each of them a little bit. And one of them, I feel like I remember being very Buffalo Tracy, like a Stag Junior almost. So I don't know if that's true or not, but it was giving off a lot of, Buffalo Trace vibes. So there's something that I have discovered recently. Eric says Betty doesn't know that But he doesn't know that when he showed me this stuff, I switched him around. That's I wouldn't put that past you. I wouldn't put that past you. But I have discovered that the best way for me to kind of reset my palate if I'm struggling with, one particular flavor that's overpowering things or something that I am just kind of struggling to grasp, mineral water, carbonated mineral water is what really helps me kind of readjust my palate. So in between some sips, I'm going to be taking a sip of Perrier as well. And then I also just got some regular old potato chips to introduce something different to my palate. So I want to go ahead and take a sip of the Control bourbon. That's not a good place for that to be. Neither is that. So I'll just toss that over there. I gotta figure out the best placement for this mic as well. But I think everything's coming through okay. It's quite oak heavy. A tiny little bit of cinnamon that's kind of. You thought Perry B was better? I guess that. What does that make me? Am I Perry? Perry. It took 5, 6 tries to get it right. Not that I am the right one, but at least, Yeah, this Control sample smells really, really nice. Also, just thank you to Joe and Barrell and everybody for sending this over. I mean, I was so excited when I got it, and I've put it off for too long, and it was time to dive into it. Eric says next pick is definitely going to be a Perrier spoof label Perrier. I like it. I like it a lot. Very oaky, a little dry. It reads pretty hot. I mean, it reads, I would say, probably in the 115 to 120 or 125 range. It's very good. It's a really good little blend. Part of it like kind of rolls through like these Heaven Hill notes, like very pronounced like creaminess and butteriness and a little bit of like brown sugar and but then it's also kind of layered with like a little bit of and truth be told, like I said before, I don't know what any of these are. So I mean, when I'm kind of postulating what I think this blend has going for it, I could be completely off. I mean, it could be things that are totally out of state. But just kind of what I have in front of me, that's just kind of what I'm going with. All of these are at cast strength, Clifton. That is right. So I'm gonna go ahead, I think, and get each sample poured up. And for my own sake, just so that I don't lose my mind and get confused, for me, it is going to, and I guess it's going to kind of be the opposite for you, but I'm going to go A, B, C. Just so, and I'll maybe it's best if I just put the sample bottles in front of the glasses that they're going to be in, just so I, can kind of keep things in line. Do I have a key for the blend? I don't even have a key for the blend, honestly. So I am flying like as blind as I possibly can. And I feel like I get crunk. Great. Yeah. Barrell and Joe, I am not using this to just absolutely lose my mind. That would be pretty funny. But once I'm done with all these, like I almost want to send my final blend to Joe and see what he thinks. But I also would like to just kind of part of me like really wants to just call him too when I get done with it and just go, Joe, you're never gonna believe what I just did. And I'm pretty excited about this. I don't know how like confident I necessarily am in making what I would consider to be the right blend, but I do think that I'm gonna get pretty close with this. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Also, this is I figured that I would just kind of get my head in the right space by drinking a little bit of Barrell, or excuse me, Stellum bourbon, which I like so much the more and more that I go back to it. But I think that I'm also going to have to go through a few tests, maybe, to make sure that what I'm doing is close enough, or that I'm working my way closer to what the final product is supposed to be. So I had to clean out that glass, rinse it out with a little bit of sparkling water. That was weird. Sparkling bourbon water. Swilly Nelson came in a little late to the show. What kind of shenanigans you got going on? What's going on, Cody? Hope you're well, buddy. I am doing a blending experiment from Barrell Craft Spirits. Joe Beatrice sent me this final blend that I have to essentially try to replicate. So, not sure exactly how it's going to go, but I am hopeful in the very least for it. Also, if you're coming in at this point, do not forget that you can support the show through Snuffy Chats, which is our super chat system, just by heading to PayPal or the Stream Elements link in the description. So check that out. All right. Oh, sample A is where a lot of the sweetness is coming from, at least on the nose. I mean, it's definitely like knocked out some of the oaky qualities, and I'm finding that I'm a little bit more focused on the sweeter notes. If I had to guess, I would say sample A is probably a wheater. Because there's not a whole lot of like rye spice to it. It's just very sweet. I have a feeling I'm going to need very little of sample A for all of this. Let me see if my... I used to have a water dropper as well, and I'm not seeing it anywhere. So we're just going to kind of have to wing it and see what happens. Yeah. Sample A is quite sweet. It actually kind of reminds me a little bit more of like an Old Scout product, or High West. Something that it doesn't really seem to have the complexity of being exposed to seasons that something like a Kentucky or Tennessee whiskey might. But it's good. It's definitely leaning on being what I think is going to balance out some of the heavier flavors within this final whiskey product. But a decent whiskey, I would say. All right. Sample B. Oh, sample B, like right off the bat. Oh man, it was like an orange creamsicle. But that's where I'm finding some of the brown sugariness coming through. For science, yes. Ooh, Donnie's done with supper and his hands have been degreased. Hi, buddy. Thanks for being here. Hope you had a good dinner as well. Scott Pigsley, did you see the 16-year seagrass press release? I don't know if I got the actual press release, but I did see a couple of people post about it. Wild stuff. That's an expensive little monster that they've kind of created. But I mean, it's something. I'm curious. I'm definitely curious. I'm gonna have to see if I can procure a sample or two of that. There's a little something else going on with this that is also sweet, but it's more of like an earthy sweetness. Kind of like a root vegetable almost, which is very strange. Donnie says it was yummy. Good. Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. I want that bottle so much, but $250 is a bit much. It is a bit much. I'm just mostly curious what it tastes like. I mean, at $250, there's no way I'm ever going to pick up a bottle. But at that, just out of curiosity, I got to know. Scott says I may have blew. You blew your whiskey budget on that one? That's awesome. Hey, shoot your shot, man. You got to do what you got to do. B is incredibly light. It's a very bouncy whiskey. Like it hits, it bounces up, and it just kind of poofs, and it's gone. There's like very little finish, quite a bit of corn, quite a bit of caramel, but it's just kind of there. Like I'm not sitting with it and going, oh well, here's this, that, and the other that's happening in there. So where sample A might initially have some sweetness, sample B might be what just kind of evens out like the front end of the palate potentially. But here's the other thing about this, and I should have kind of prefaced this as well. I know that once I get into actually blending these and trying to attempt to recreate the final blend, I'm gonna have some trouble with it, and I'm not actually going to. It's not going to come out right the first. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. It's not going to come out right the first time. So I thankfully have enough of all three of these samples to where I can, take the time with it. But sample B might actually be a weeder more so than sample A. Andrew West is in the house. He said just got dovetail but missed on the seagrass. Probably won't see the 16 year in Canuckistan. Is that just code for Canada? Did anybody see the Whiskey Vault review today? No, I have not seen that yet. The 16-year seagrass is 100% Canadian rye, which is different than the original. I did not know that it was 100% Canadian rye. The sample B and the control smell very similar. I mean, they have a lot of the same thing going on. So I don't know. B could maybe be like the blank canvas that everything else is trying to shape. So maybe the majority of the blend is going to wind up being B. I'm not sure yet. We're just going to have to kind of see here in a second. I'm going to take another sip of it, though. Yeah, it's very light. It's very quick to finish. That's what she said. I've been watching a lot of The Office, by the way, recently. Like, I don't know. Like, there was a holiday marathon that was going on towards the end of 21, and so like I just watched a bunch of it, and then I just like I've just been craving watching it. So I'm on not a full rewatch, just kind of going through some select episodes, but the longer that I watch particular episodes, the more I'm like, I'll just watch it all the way through again. By the way, this is unflavored Perrier carbonated mineral water. So it's purely just to cleanse the palate. I'm actually going to take a little bit of a sip of regular water as well. There we go. All right. Let's check out sample C. C is also a little grassy. Somebody donated a 2019 George T. Stag to the Whiskey Vault, and you think some of us might know who it is. That's not... I haven't watched the video, but are there any hints as to who it might be? You got me all curious here, Tony. You can't drop that kind of nonsense and then expect me to just ignore it. I got to know. I got to know now. Yeah, there's a little bit of like graham cracker on C as well. But C, I think between... A has turned into like the darkest portion of all of these samples. Oh, it's Carl Ivy. No kidding. C's grassy seagrass. I love that conspiracy theory. That makes me laugh a lot. Mother effing Carl Ivy. I haven't heard about Carl Ivy in forever. How's he doing? Do Chad and Sarah still talk about him on their live streams? I catch like their live streams here and there. I'm curious. How's he doing? Patrick says it was Brazo. He ran out of Woodinville. Where is Brazo? Is he still working? He's probably still working. C might be the most robust palate-wise, though. A little bit of a shorter finish. Oh, nope. I was wrong. Finish is still kind of going. It goes into like Frosted Cheerios, which is crazy. Okay. A is now the boldest of the three samples. So I think B is going to be... To be or not to? Whatever. That was a dumb joke. He was at the Louisville meetup. No kidding. Oh, well, okay. I could have met him when I came and saw you quickly, Tony, but maybe not. Oh. That's good, though. I'm happy that he's still participating in the community and everything. I can't say, like, saying something like I haven't heard about him in a while is just basically my way of saying that I have missed out on stuff. recently. So not to say he hasn't been around. It's just I guess I've not been around as much. So I made a huge mistake. I started going Will Arnett at the end of my sentence there. That's funny. So I do think that B is going to be where things are kind of shaped around, just because it seems to have a lot of the base fundamentals of what's going on with the control sample. But A and C are going to be a monster to have to try to blend together. Roger Meeker, what's up, Roger? I don't know if I've seen you in here before. Pulling my barrel aged cocktails tonight. JTS Brown Manhattan and Old Foe 100 Old Fashioned. Get yourselves a barrel if you haven't yet, dude. That sounds awesome. That sounds so friggin' good. I need to get a small barrel just to have on hand. Especially to age cocktails in. I think that would be spectacular. Hello, Lil. Good morning to you. Top, almost said top of the morning to you. That's not Australia. That's Ireland, dummy. Jeez Louise. Ugh. All right. So, having tried all three of them, I should probably go back through and try the control sample at the very least. What's going on, Adam? Mr. Whiskey Shits himself. Hope you're well, buddy. It's good to see you in here. Part of me feels like I'm playing handbells with how many different glasses I'm picking up constantly. I need to do something about this mic. I feel like I just keep hitting it. Maybe that'll be a little bit better, just a little bit more out of my way. 61.27 on that dovetail. That's awesome. Roger says they are amazing. Awesome. That is awesome. Got to do that, man. I got to do more like at-home barrel-aged cocktails. I need to get an at-home smoker as well, especially since I talked about them on my Perry's Favorite Thing episode of the podcast too. So, all right. So this graduated cylinder has up to it's 10 milliliters measured out. So here's what I'm going to do to start off, just to see where I am kind of gauging most of my blending. I am going to do 2 parts B, 1 part A, and 1 part C. I gotta pour a little bit slower as well. Dang it. I keep just barely missing the mark. All right. There we go. So now I have to be extra careful with A and C, because I can't dump the cylinder back into the bottle, because then it'll just mess everything up. What's up, Robot Scott? I think I've missed a little bit of the chat. No, I'm pretty caught up. But hope you're well, Scott. Good to see you in here, man. All right, so we're gonna go for 2 milliliters of sample A. Ooh, did I get that on the money? Oh, just barely. I need like a drop more. Ah! There we go. I think I did a little bit too much, so I'll have to kind of balance it out with C. Yeah, I messed up just a little bit. It's like 3 milliliters. So okay, that's about right measurement wise for this. Pour it into a glass first. Oh well, that makes a lot more sense, doesn't it, Tony? I was so good with science in high school. I loved chemistry. Chemistry was like one of my favorite classes of all time. But that was mostly because I had a great teacher, and she actually is going on a NASA flight mission soon. So shout out to Mrs. Miner, who is one of my favorite teachers ever. I never thought that I would shout out any of my high school teachers here on a stream or a podcast or anything, but color's a little bit off. So I'm probably going to wind up, and I know that this is not necessarily a 1-to-1 in terms of glasses, but you can see that the control sample is a fair bit darker and got more of a richness of color to it than this little blend does that I made. So it's not a bad smelling nose, all things considered, but it's definitely not. It's not exactly what the control is. Sorry, I was trying to see if I had another Glencairn out here. Let me actually go grab another Glen real quick, because I have another one. It's just I made the mistake of not thinking far enough ahead and getting one. So BRB, don't go anywhere, please. Ah! I'm knocking sample bottles over. I stood up twice on this stream. Sorry. Sorry about that. All right, that's going to give me a better... Paul says, "Do we need to send you a pack of Glencairns?" I've got plenty. I just made the mistake of not coming out with enough. Nope, this is definitely not it. At least on the nose. My blend smells like Flintstone vitamins, so that's not good. That's not what I wanted at all. Boy, that tastes like Dickel. And the control blend does not. So, yeah, I think I did make some Dickel there, actually, which is hysterical. So I think I'm gonna have to rethink this a little bit. I probably went too heavy with sample B. So maybe I'll try like an even 1-to-1 blend of it this time. Just because I'm curious. Tony just donated $10 to the show. He says $5 for each stand up. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Roger says got some custom Glens engraved. Pretty nice. I've got, a long time, not a long time ago, but we've got this in my bourbon drinking glass, Glencairns. I got a couple of those left. But once the store launches, once the website launches, we're going to do a little bit more than just these specific blends. So. Yep, that was not a great blend, unfortunately. But that's okay. Because I knew that I wasn't going to get it right the first time. So, let's simply do this. Should have poured all of that out. I mean, that's like drops of whiskey, so that's not going to make too much of a difference in the end, or at least I hope not. So we are just going to make, just because that was too dickily. So I'm going to back up a little bit here and see if I can make a 1-to-1-to-1 blend that is potentially closer to what the final control blend actually is. And this time, yes, I am doing the smart thing and pouring each of them into the glass and measuring it out that way instead of being dumb and trying to blend it into the graduated cylinder. So this could be great for me, or it could make my night end very quickly and very poorly. I am hoping that it doesn't. So pray for me, I guess. How's everybody doing? What's everybody drinking? I know that we're already 20 minutes, 40 minutes in with about 20 minutes left of showtime, but I want to get this blend right. I want to make this happen, man. Okay. All right. So 1-to-1-to-1. And I'm hoping that this is going to get closer than the previous blend. It at least smells closer. But it's missing some of the oakiness that Sample A has. Pear's about to be on Cliffy mode. With as much as I've been smelling these, if you could get drunk off of smelling, then that would be me, probably, but not quite. Have I missed it? Has Papa Ritter been in it all tonight? I haven't seen him once. Strange. Hope he's not mad at me. Yeah, this is actually 1-to-1-to-1 is very close. It's really close. It just needs a little bit of tweaking. And I think that what it is that it needs more of Sample A, honestly. What's up, Zofer? So what's up, Perry? Just got off work. Great podcast this week. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Tony Pagadonut says ginger ale and water until further notice, maybe till February. Whew. Man, do not envy you, my friend. And Scott says, Papa Ritter mad? Nah. It's actually not a bad blend once you even out the ratios a little bit. A spider? There's a teeny tiny little spider on my laptop right now. You're so cute, buddy. What you doing? Bubble Bath Bourbon, what's up with you, man? I'm doing a blind blending experiment from Barrell Craft Spirits. So cool stuff. All the way from down under. It's Chris. Hi, Chris. It's good to see you and Lil both in here. Goodness gracious, what a great crowd we've got here tonight. Thank you guys so much for showing up. I appreciate it. Hello, little friend. Hello. Is my computer warm? Is that why you're hanging out there? If I could... No! My chips! I knocked my potato chips on the ground. Come here, buddy. No, I don't want you to leave. All right. I was trying to show you all how tiny he was. Yeah, super, super close. Whew. Zopher says, I always want to pronounce barrel like Pharrell. My wife says the same thing, which is really funny. Chris says, cheers all. We are just chilling on our second day of our dry 12 weeks. That is a long dry week spell. In the meantime, I'm just over here slamming samples from Joe Beatrice, trying to craft this blend that he made. All right, so here is what I am thinking. I think what I'm going to do is go back to the original ratio that I had. Also, I need to do this in a bad way. I didn't realize it was out there, Lil. I can't talk about this too much without getting at least a little bit emotional. But Lil, I am glad that you are doing well, and your prognosis was about as good as we could have hoped for. So there's Papa Ritter. Welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place. Such a lovely face. Living it up at the Hotel California. What a nice surprise. Bring you out of bites. All right, so I'm going to go back to the original ratio of 2 to 1 to 1 for this. So I'm going to go 2 parts sample A, and then 1 part sample B, 1 part sample C. Where did that cap go? There it is. There's Papa Ritter, though. It's Swan! Swan's in the house, everybody. Swan, are y'all packed up and ready to go, my dude? I'm going to come visit you at work tomorrow, by the way. I made you look at this comment. I love you, buddy. There we go. One part sample B. We're going to get one part sample C. And as we are getting close to the top of the hour, Papa Ritter and Swan are here, and now it's a party. Indeed. What's up, Bourbon Baller? Oh, you're off tomorrow. Do you want to come and hang out with me and Eric again tomorrow when we record? Just mess with people. Oop, little too much. Just a hair too much. Oh, man. I just need like a literal drop more. Dang it. I gotta be precise. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Prescription Bourbon, what's up? Says cheers, Perry. Cheers to you all. Hope y'all are well. I'm over here trying to replicate a blend from Barrel Craft Spirits. Zopher, you've never had Cosmic Brownies from Lil Debbie? That's a shame. Who do I have a text message from? Oh. Ugh. Gotcha. Dad said, who's making brownies? I want. Oh, that's close. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I did it. I think I nailed it. A pretty simple ratio, all things considered. Okay. Super close. The actual control sample has a little bit more heat on the finish than my blend does. So, very quickly, very quickly, I'm going to go through sample A, B, and C, try to figure out which of these actually has the higher proof, and then maybe try to lean into that a little bit more. The All Things Considered theme song just played in your head. That's awesome. Okay. All right. Sample C definitely has that back end bite that I'm missing in my blend. So, camera looks great. Thanks, Prescription Bourbon. This is actually the same camera that I was using when I was back there. I just had to, once I moved up here, it just readjusted. everything. Whew, I went through a lot of samples really quickly there. Perry, we were on Storytime's channel earlier this morning, U.S. time, and we were discussing if channels who want to support Lil do a dry stream each over the next 12 weeks. Heck yeah. That sounds great. How about this? How about next week, the 20th? I do a dry stream, and yeah, I'll just be drinking like craft sodas or ginger ales or whatever, and yeah. Next week, dry stream, but same energy. Oh, Poperator says the new setup looks great. Thanks, Dad. All right. I got this. So sample C is where the heat is coming from in this case. But most of the flavor seems to be coming from sample A. So sample B is kind of where everything is being mixed together with. So I'm sticking with 2 parts sample A. I'm sticking with 1 part sample B. I'm going to go with 1.5 sample C. And I think that is going to get us where we need to go. So let's go ahead, get sample A poured up. Also, I hope you guys have enjoyed this stream. I know it's a little bit different than what I normally do. But I like doing weird and different things from time to time. Prescription says Ale 81. Yes, I will definitely be drinking some Ale 8 next week. For sure. Swan style dry week. Yeah. Poperator says I'm in for the dry stream as well. There you go. Scott says I damn near broke my dry month, but not going to because of you, Lil. There you go. All right, 1 part. Oop, way too much. I say way, it was like a milliliter. There we go. All right. And for 7.5 milliliters of sample C, I'm telling y'all, this is going to do it. Tony says, I think this was the better place to do this as opposed to the pod. I had thought originally about doing this as just a YouTube video, but I like kind of being able to talk through this process with people and seeing what it's just a little too much. It's just a little teeny tiny bit too much. Dang it. So close. I'm so close. But like the visual element of doing this on a live stream, I think, is much more compelling than just listening to us talk through blending. Like, and now we're going to pour a little bit of sample C back into the mix and see what it does. Still too much. I'm like barely just tapping. There we go. Like 2 drops out of it to get it right. All right. I think we did it. Oh, Dad picked up something special that we had talked about on Sunday. Paul says, can't wait to hear Papa Ritter and the Whiskey Mutant on the pod. Paul, that is going to happen before too long. So stay tuned. If we can persuade him to be on the show, like come and record with us tomorrow, then who's to say? Talk to Dad after the stream. I know that we are right at 9 o'clock. I apologize, but I want to make sure that we get this right. That color is amazing and literally spot on. That is like the perfect. That I could not have asked for a better color. I don't know, better outcome for the color. Do I have enough light? Yeah, I guess so. Will it be ringside? That would be hilarious. Dad says he can't tomorrow. Well, next week. Shoot for next week. I did it! I did it! I completely nailed the nose. Man, sample A, or excuse me, the control sample. Still so good. It's got this really great rolling complexity to it. That finish where the proof is just kind of gives it this nice little pop at the end that helps it kind of, oh, Fridays aren't good. Yeah, we'll figure it out that. But it makes it into a really nice, well-rounded, well-balanced whiskey. So all right, let's see. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. That was it. That was it. That was even like front end of the palate. It's exactly the same. It was starting to like creep up into my gums and dry out a little bit, but then it kind of rounds out and gets a little bit softer towards the back end. But that little alcohol pop is still there. I can't believe that I got that. But I'm good at working backwards, I guess. Man. Whoa. Oh boy. Well, there you go. That was great. That was awesome. I'm really, really happy with that outcome. I encourage anybody who would like to do something like this to, make up a little blend, get their friends in on it, and see if they can find some way to replicate this process as well. But this was really, really fun and really cool. What was the final ratio? So it was 2 parts A, 1.5 parts C, and 1 part B. So a little bit crazy and off the, not really exactly, but good stuff though. Good stuff. So I think that does it for this week, but thank you all so much for watching. As always, I love getting to do this, and I'll be back next week for more. If you have not yet followed the podcast on all social media channels, it is at My Bourbon Pod. Go ahead and subscribe here on YouTube as well. Hit the like button, the bell notification, all of that good stuff. Paul says that's it. Patreon canceled. Don't cancel the Patreon. No, don't do that. Don't cancel page, please. But you can go to patreon.com/My Bourbon Podcast for as little as $1 a month to support the show. But that Paul, please don't cancel your Patreon. But that does it, guys. We'll see you next week. Appreciate y'all as always. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. See you real soon. Until then, I'm Perry, and this is TIMBP Live.